Are you guys ready to talk some shit?
There's a T, and oh, there's a T, and there's a T.
I'm just kidding. That was a little much. Today we're gonna be comparing two different palettes and creating two similar eye looks with different palettes. So we are going to use the Artist Couture palette. This is the Midnight Maven, and then the Dominique, it's backwards, Dominique Celestial Storm palette. These two palettes are new palettes. I've seen lots of comparisons on the internet about these two palettes, how they are similar, how they are identical. So we are gonna find out, are these two palettes the same or are they different? Which one is gonna be the better palette for you to buy? Stick around and let's find out. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the products themselves. The first one we want to talk about is the Artist Couture. This palette here looks like this. And if I open it up, you see it's got 8 shades. It has 2 of those shimmer shades. It's got 1 metallic shade, and then the rest are matte shades to build and play with. You know I love matte shades, so it's a really pretty palette. It's really compact, so you can carry this around. It's really easy to travel with. This one retails for $29. That's a really good price for a palette. Then of course we have the Dominique Celestial Storm palette. It's a much larger palette, as you can see. If we open her up, we have got some nice metallics in there. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shimmer shades and then 6 matte shades. So you got a little more variety with the Dominique, but you also pay kind of a steeper price for this. This one is $44. So if you do some quick maths, that's $15 more.
Ooh, just because you got a sugar daddy who pays for everything for you. Oh.
So I've not played with these yet. I've not even swatched them. I'll do a swatch test for both of them, and then I'll give you the comparison swatches for the shades that are similar so you can see the differences between them.
I wanna know that. Okay. I really want to know.
Okay, so first up we have the Artist Couture Midnight Maven palette. This first shade here, from left to right, we've got Lights Out, After Hours, Rendezvous, Quickie. Ooh, that's dirty.
This is disgusting. I like it though. I want to watch it again.
Frisky, Rebel, Nightcap, and Vixen. And here is the Dominique Cosmetics Celestial Storm palette. We've got Electric Amethyst, Stargaze, Eternal Light, Lucid Dream, Storm Dust, Lunar Eclipse, Astrid Lust, Mystic Ice, Zero Gravity, Black Matter, Solstice, and Fireball. Okay, so here are the similar colors, or the colors that I've seen being compared. This first comparison here is going to be Frisky for Artist Couture on the left, and then Lunar Eclipse on the right. And the next comparison is Rebel from Artist Couture and Storm Dust from Dominique. And then the next shade here is going to be Vixen and Lucid Dream. And then last but not least, we've got Nightcap from Artist Couture and Astrid Lust from Dominique. And lastly, we've got the similar shimmer shades. I included the 2 shimmer shades for Artist Couture, the metallic one, which is Lights Out here. And then we have After Hours. And then this is the Dominique Electric Amethyst. So I just wanted to compare all 3 of those together, all those purple shimmer shades. And then over here, we've got Rendezvous from Artist Couture, and we've got Stargaze from Dominique. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is attempt to do a similar look on both eyes. I know it's not going to be entirely possible to do an identical look, but we're going to try to do the best we can to make kind of a similar look on both eyes with both these palettes. So on this side, is this left or right? I guess it's my left, your right?
Miss Jackson.
This side, we're going to do the Artist Couture, and on this side, we're going to do the Dominique. I've got lots of brushes so that we don't mix. So let's get started. So now I'm priming my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer. I'm just creating a nice base for those shades to sit over top of to make them long lasting and to make the pigment really appear. You can blend this all the way up into your brow bone if you want. It's really up to you. Some people do this first. They'll do their whole eye look first, and I usually do my whole eye look first. It honestly depends on how intricate the eye look is and if I'm worried about fallout. You can also put a little bit of powder underneath your eyes if you're worried about fallout, and then just brush off the powder afterwards. I don't like putting a lot of powder under my eyes because that tends to exaggerate texture and emphasize texture, and I don't want to do that. So usually I do my eyes first, but for the sake of this video, I did my whole face, and then you can see how the eyes, and I'll just be very careful today. First shade I'm going to go into is with the Artist Couture palette, and it is this one here. This is called Frisky, and I'm just going to take my M433 brush from Morphe, and I'm going to just blend that around up into my crease, of course above my hooded lids, and just work that in there nice and calmly and smoothly. Just start off with a nice gradual transition that we're going to deepen up with some of those brighter colors. The nice thing about this palette is there are some neutrals in here, and then you also have those pops of color. So if you wanted to do something crazy for like a night out when you're traveling, you can definitely. And then also if you wanted to just do like a natural no makeup or just a soft moment, you can absolutely do that too. And it's kind of so you've got two different base looks with one palette. Okay, so now I'm gonna take another M433 brush from Morphe, clean, and I'm going to go into the similar shade in Dominique, which is not quite similar. It's this orange shade here, Lunar Eclipse. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, in that I am just going into my crease and blending that all out. Now you can see this is definitely a little more orange than that tan color, so not a direct comparison, but similar idea. And I should move my hair out of the way a little bit.
Good work, Charlie.
What I do like about this brush, for those of us who have hooded eyes, is it's a blending brush. It's a little larger than the traditional blending brushes that I use, but it's sort of flat on one side, so you can really get into the crease above that hood that you have without creating too much of a mess above your eye. Okay, now it's time for some color, and I'm going to take the Artist Couture, this pink shade here. This pink shade is called Vixen, and I'm taking a CXC Beauty brush. It is a blending brush. It's also flat, and I'm just going to go right underneath that initial color that I did and just blend this up into my crease. Wow, she is pigmented. Look at that. We'll see how it blends out, and hopefully it doesn't stain my lid. So we're just kind of going around the whole lid here, right in the crease. And now I'm going to take a Morphe E18 brush. It's a flat kind of bullet brush. Let's see if it'll focus. And I'm going to go ahead and just blend those two colors together. This is a fantastic blending brush. If you don't have a good blending brush and you have small lids, this is a beautiful, or even if you have large lids, it's a good blending brush. It just kind of diffuses all the color and blends it very nicely together. Okay, now we are going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take a clean CXC Beauty brush. Looks like this. And I'm going to dip into, I hate when people say that. I'm going to dip into, that's such a weird thing to say. I'm going to put my, but I guess there's no other way to say that. I'm going to put my brush into the comparison shade, which is Lucid Dream. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Go into the crease. And as you can see, they're very, 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 very similar colors. I feel like this pink, we've seen it a lot in a lot of palettes, especially like this summer. It's a beautiful color. I love it. We have seen it. Okay, so now let's go into our purples. On the Artist Couture side, we are going to do Nightcap right here. Nightcap. I'm going to take a smaller blending brush, an M507 brush, and I'm going to go underneath, and I'm actually going to pull it onto my lid. Another cool thing about these colors is that they can be packed on really, really significantly. I've seen some videos where people pack it on and then blend it. So if you're looking for something that's like super vibrant, super pigmented, if you are going for a really bold look for like Instagram or for any other kind of social media, or if you want to just go really, really bold for an event you're going to, you can absolutely do that. You can also kind of just layer them gently and kind of make it diffused and make a really pretty soft look. It's entirely up to you. And this is blending out beautifully. Look at that. So stunning. Stunning. Looking like $1 million. The comparison shade in the Dominique is This one right here, Astrid Lust. I don't know what that means, but it's provocative. I'm going to take a clean M507 brush and do the same thing on the other side that I did obviously with the Artist Couture. This purple is a little pinker than the other purple, I feel like. So the Artist Couture is a little more of a true purple, and then this one is going to be a little bit, have more of a pink undertone. So as you can see, as I'm kind of layering it, this one's definitely a little pinker, and then this one's definitely more purple. Okay, to create the halo eye, I'm going to go ahead and use the Anastasia eye primer again, and I'm just going to take a little bit, make sure I don't get too much, and just tap it right in the middle in kind of a dome shape. And remember, I have hooded lids, so trick for you hooded eye people, look straight at the camera and make a mark of where you want your lid to stop, and keep your eye open so that when your eye is open, you can still see your work. It's not gonna go away, so make that mark. Okay, so now let's go into some of these shimmer shades. I'm going to go in with the very first one for Artist Couture. This one here, After Hours, it's a purple shade, and then of course I'm gonna do this on top. But I'm gonna start with this one here. I'm gonna lay this down just over top of that white base that I put down. Then I'm gonna go into that blue Rendezvous is what it's called. And I'm going to put that in a line over top and just kind of diffuse that out. Now I'm gonna go back into Nightcap and just very gently blend that together. And I'm really just going back and forth and just kind of blending everything, adding more pigment. Okay, so this is basically where we're at right now with the Artist Couture. I just kind of blended everything together. So let's go ahead and go into the Dominique and see if we can kind of create a similar one with the shadows in that palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the same type of shadows, which are these two, blue and purple here. I'm also, don't hate me, I'm going to go ahead into this shade here to kind of create more of a halo effect when I do these. So I'm gonna use these three colors. So I'm gonna start with Electric Amethyst and just pack this on here. You can obviously wet your brush if you want more pigment to show up. I'm gonna switch out to a smaller 228S brush from MAC. Small lid people, go ahead and pick this one up as well. Then I'm going into Stargaze, which is that blue shimmer color. And I'm actually gonna go in with my finger, I think. I feel like I'm gonna get a little more pigment, a little more color with my, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. And then I'll do the same thing with the Electric Amethyst on either side. Now what I'm gonna do is go into this lighter Eternal Lust kind of white color, just for a little extra dimension to the halo. I'm just gonna do it right in the center. And then of course work on blending all these colors together. Okay, now that the top is all pretty much done and you can kind of see the difference, I'm going to go ahead and do the lower lash line really quick. So on the Artist Couture side, I'm going to use that purple and pink shade again and just hit that lower lash line and go back with the Nightcap, which is the purple, and just do this outer part here. And then I'm gonna go back into that first very initial color that I used, which was Frisky, and just blend all of that out together. Okay, now with the Dominique, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm going to go in with the purple and pink colors and do the exact same thing on the other side. There's just something about doing your lower lash line that just completes everything. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take a Marc Jacobs eye crayon and just hit this lower lash line and try not to cry. Ugh. Poking myself in the eye again.
What do you do successfully? Quickly.
Okay, now let's hit that lash line. I have a House Laboratories eyeliner and I'm going to just hit this bottom line and try not to breathe or stress out while I do this, because you know when you put on eyeliner it can ruin everything. If you want a review on House Laboratories and their products, you can go ahead and look up here or up here, and I'll put a link there and you can take a look. And now I'm just gonna wait, because you know these hoods will not let me open my eyes. I can do the other eye, which is always significantly harder, you know, your opposite hand. Okay, That's gonna dry. I'm gonna put on lashes and we'll be right back. Okay, so I put on some Lily lashes. These are in the style Opulence, like Opulence.
Opulence. You earn everything.
So that's done. And this is kind of the completed eye look. Both eyes are beautiful. I really like both of them for different reasons. So we'll get to that in a second. First, we're gonna put on some highlighter and then some lips. So for highlighter, Artist Couture sent me over this nice little box here that has their glow powders in it. So we're going to go ahead and use that. Dominique didn't send me any items. So, I mean, my DMs are always open. Dominique, if you wanna.
I mean, who knows? One day, you never know.
So we're gonna use the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder. I actually already had the Cocoa Bling powder. This is a loose powder like the Anastasia loose powder. It's very similar. It is very, very, very bright. Look at that. Insane. So I'm using a Fenty highlighting brush. This is a cheek hugging brush. Makes it really easy to diffuse highlight out. So for lips, I'm going to line my lips with Kylie. This is in shade Kylie. And then I'm gonna skip lipstick, of course, and go straight to lip gloss. This is an Artist Couture Climax lip gloss. I think this gloss is beautiful. It's like a pink champagne-y color. Okay, and we're done with the look. Now let's talk a little bit about the products. I honestly enjoyed both of them. If we're getting to just the nitty-gritty of it all, the Artist Couture is definitely a great travel palette. You know I love matte shades, and this has 5 of them. It has these metallics and shimmers, which worked beautifully with the look. I really did enjoy this palette. It honestly reminds me a little bit of the Riviera palette from Anastasia. I would recommend buying this palette if you want a good travel palette. You can create a lot of really cool looks with this, especially if you are somebody that's not super creative and you need kind of a unified color story to kind of work off of, and you don't want to be overwhelmed by a lot of choices. I'm that kind of person that if I go into a restaurant, I want one page. I don't want to have a lot of options. I want to kind of limit my options because my ADHD goes crazy. So if you are like me in that regard, definitely pick up this palette. It's $29, which is like a steal for a palette like this. The colors blended really beautifully, as you can see. I really do enjoy the way that this turned out. All of Artist Couture's products are really, really solid products. I really like this brand, and they are very supportive of smaller artists. The Dominique Cosmetics palette is also a really great palette. It's for a person who wants a full palette with all these color options, with a lot of these bright oranges, which you don't see a lot in different palettes. I would compare it to these two colors to like what you see in the Jackie palette for Anastasia. These are great colors. The colors also blended out beautifully. As far as the halo eye look, I feel like that last shade kind of did it in for the halo eye look. It really created that, but they both are beautiful, beautiful eyes. I really do enjoy both palettes. This one's a little more expensive, $44, but you get a lot of shades. Really, honestly, they're not as similar as we kind of first initially thought. The shade, there are those pink and purple shades that are similar, but there are differences in the shades. So if you're looking for one or the other, they're both going to be great for different things. This is the final look. I really like the way it turned out. It's a really cool jewel tone, spacey look for fall.
I'm like, are they alien drag queens? Who knows?
Guys, I'm so excited for fall. I'm so excited for all these dark colors. I love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the time you take to watch my videos. If you liked these palettes, one or the other, leave me a comment down below. Let me know. Give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.